Has anyone ever told you why God created weather? I mean, have you ever stopped to think about why there's so much variety and different kinds of weather all over the world? Well, on today's podcast, I'm going to reveal the big secret why God created weather.
Welcome to Becoming Wiser with Dr. Robert A. Rohm, author and world-renowned public speaker, as he shares stories involving his experiences and lessons learned in a good-spirited, positive, and fun way. Here's Dr. Robert A. Rohm.
I'm Dr. Robert Rohm, and I hope that you're having a great day today. And it's summertime while I'm making this particular podcast, and everywhere I turn, I hear people complaining about the weather. Boy, it sure is hot. Or, man alive, we need some rain. Or, goodness gracious, can you believe what the temperatures are rising up to these days? And, oh my gosh, global warming is going to kill all of us. Well, the truth of the matter is, weather comes and goes. But there's a specific reason, I believe, why God created weather in the first place. So I hope you'll listen very carefully and let this podcast give you a whole new perspective on how to do your life as it relates to the weather. When I was growing up, I used to make sure that I always hoped and prayed for pretty weather. Because let's face it, when the weather's pretty, you can go outside and play. You can go to the ball game. You can go to the beach or wherever it is that you're going. If you're having a family picnic, or if you're going to maybe a ball game with your family or kids, you always think, I sure hope and pray we have pretty weather. Then, after a while, when it hasn't rained, we start thinking, I think we could use some rain. I mean, the ground is just so hard. When I lived in Texas, I learned something very interesting. Houses in Texas don't have basements. And the reason they don't have basements is because the ground in Texas is a rich, oily, muddy substance that's called muck. And when you're shoveling with your shovel, you can't even throw the dirt off of the shovel. You have to push it off with your foot. Whereas in Georgia, where I have lived most of my life, dirt is just dirt. You shovel it and throw it off the shovel, and you just keep shoveling. The oil in the soil in Texas is far different than not having oil in the soil in Georgia. Both places are different. So in Georgia, when it rains, it's wonderful because the ground soaks it up. In Texas, when it rains, it causes those huge cracks in the dirt and in the yard and in the land to start coming back together. Years ago, there was even a little girl named Jessica who fell in one of those cracks, and it took rescue teams hours to finally save her life. But I'm digressing a little bit. Let's get back to the topic at hand of weather. Weather was created for one reason. Buckle up. You might not think this is true, but I'll explain it. God created weather to show us that no matter what he did, he couldn't make us happy. And let me explain a little further and what to do about this dilemma. When it's dry outside, we say, man, we need some rain. I'll be glad when it rains. We just need some rain to cool things off. And then when it starts raining and it rains for several days, you can hear the words, I'll be glad when this rain lets up. We've had too much rain lately. We just need for it to dry up, and we need some pretty weather. So when it's raining, we want it to be dry, and when it's dry, we want it to be raining. Then, when it gets too cold, I'll be glad when it warms up. It's just bitter cold today. And then it warms up, and it gets to be summertime. We sure could use some cool weather. It's just so hot outside. Well, I'll be glad when it cools down a little bit, and we don't have quite such hot temperatures every day. We're something, aren't we? When it's hot, we want it to cool down, and when it's cool, we want it to warm up. When it's dry, we want it to rain, and when it's raining, we want it to be dry. We are a tough bunch to please. And you know what? I believe God knew that. So he created weather to kind of get our attention. Now, let me explain what I mean by that and what to do about it. There's a Bible verse that says, "This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it." Have you ever thought about your happiness not depending on the weather? Have you ever thought about your happiness not depending on what day of the week it is? I know people who look at Monday like, oh, Monday and Tuesday, that's terrible. Wednesday's up day. And if we can just get over Wednesday, we'll have Thursday and Friday and even the weekend to enjoy. What a pitiful way to live. What a negative, depressing way to get up and think, well, what day of the week is it? And that will decide whether or not I'm going to be happy. It's going to determine how I look at life and how I go about my interactions with other people. I think that's really, really a sad way to do life. I think the greatest way you can do life, regardless of what's going on in the weather, is to like it. It's to enjoy it. When it's raining, think to yourself, I'm so glad we have this rain. I mean, rain just makes everything grow. Rain is so wonderful. It waters the earth and gives us plants and vegetation and food to eat. And then when it's dry, wow, what a pretty day it is today. We can go outside. We can do things outside. We don't have to worry about taking an umbrella with us. There's not a cloud in the sky. Today's going to be beautiful. We can go to the park. We can go to the ball game. We can go take a walk tonight. We can do whatever we want to because we don't have to worry about getting rained on and getting soaking wet. You see, both of those are important, but both of those are different. When it's cool, and I love this cool weather, it feels so good to just not go outside and fry or cook in the hot, humid weather. And then when it starts to get warmer, the summertime, not quite so cold, man, this is a great day. It's just very beautiful. So when it warms up, be grateful. When it cools down, be grateful. Stop letting your happiness depend on your happenings. I hope you didn't miss that. That's a real key wisdom tip to life. You see, the word happiness is directly related to our happenings. If it's raining, oh man, I'm all upset. I wanted it to be pretty today. If it's pretty, oh man, we sure could use some rain. I mean, to tell you, the ground is just so harsh. If it's cold outside, I'll be glad when it finally warms up a little bit. And when it's hot, I'll be glad when it finally cools down. All of that determines your happiness because your happenings are controlling your life. Let me clue you in on something called joy. Joy is whatever is going on. I'm going to look at it and be grateful. Have you ever noticed that whatever weather is taking place, it doesn't last very long? I mean, I know occasionally we'll have some long stretches without rain, or we'll have some long stretches with rain. But sooner or later, it stops. Things change. Things turn around. I mean, I'm 75 years old. I've lived long enough to know whatever is taking place in the weather, if you just wait a little while, things will change. If it's pretty, sooner or later it's going to start raining. And if it's raining, sooner or later it's going to be pretty again. If it's hot, sooner or later it's going to cool down. And if it's cold, sooner or later it's going to warm up. I just hope that this podcast and my thoughts will help rearrange your thinking and move away from happenings and start thinking about joy. I wear on my wrist a bracelet that my mentor taught me and a whole bunch of us guys, the men who are in his men's fellowship group. The bracelet around my wrist says, just do the next right thing. You know, that's really the secret to life. Just do the next right thing, not the next best thing or the next opportunity that arises, but do the next right thing. Today's a beautiful day as I'm doing this recording, and I'm so grateful for the beautiful weather. It's a little warm outside, and yes, it'd be very tempting to say, and when it cools down, then I'll be able to be happy again. Well, I have news for you. My happiness does not depend on the weather. I know how to find a room that has air conditioning in it. I know how to go to a grocery store or to a restaurant that's cool and doesn't have the sun shining in on it. I know how to find shelter, but I also know that the sun produces vitamin D and it's good for our health and it creates us in us a healthy body. I realize you can overdo it. You can stay out in the sun too much and you can get sunburned. I don't think that's a good idea. This podcast, believe it or not, is about having some common sense. I remember talking to my father when I was growing up, and he would say to me the strangest thing. He would say, Robert, common sense is not very common. Most people don't have common sense. Most people want to complain and gripe and be upset about everything because that's just an easy way to go through life. And boy, was he right. I have lived long enough to hear. Just open your ears and start listening to see how much people complain rather than enjoy the situation or the circumstances in which they find themselves. I have discovered that life is a great teacher. These podcasts are called Becoming Wiser. I want you to become wiser. If I could have my whole life and live it all over again, every time, can you imagine being around someone when it's raining outside? Wow, this is great weather. We needed some rain. I'm so happy about this. Or when it's pretty, what a pretty day today is. Let's do some things outside because it's such a beautiful day. Let's enjoy it. When it's cold, isn't this wonderful weather? We go outside and it's not so hot. It's a little cooler and we can enjoy it and not worry about getting sunburned. And then when it's really bright, and let's go outside and enjoy the sun. Let's go to the pool because sooner or later it's going to get cool and we'll miss this beautiful summer weather that we're having. I'm not trying to nail down one specific example. I'm trying to help you see the big picture. And the big picture, here it is, don't miss it. What goes on all around me pales in comparison to what goes on inside of me. I'll say that one more time. It may be worth writing down. What goes on all around me pales in comparison to what goes on inside of me. You see, what goes on inside of me will eventually work its way out. It's called your attitude. It's called positive thinking. It's called positive believing. I realize positive thinking won't make you do anything, but it will help you do everything better. And when you realize, you know what? Thank you, God, you created weather. I know someone listening to this could very easily say, but yeah, what about hurricanes or tornadoes or earthquakes or terrible, terrible weather? They don't last forever. They do come and go, and it's just part of the environment in which we live. We're not in heaven yet. This isn't a perfect world. It's the best world possible on our way to another world. And that world has been provided by God himself. But between now and the time we get there, let me encourage you. Focus on what goes on inside of you. Focus on your words. Focus on looking at the weather and realizing, God, you are so smart. You made weather to give me every day an opportunity to decide how I will look at it, how I will accept it, and how I'll be grateful for it, and how I'll wake up with, this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Or you can be a whiner and a thumbsucker and someone who's upset about what's going on outside instead of realizing I'm not going to be upset because I know what's going on inside of me. I want to be a strong, healthy, emotionally well person that whatever's going on, I'm going to look at it and be grateful. I've lived long enough to know that the two keys to life are acceptance and gratitude. When you accept a situation, you can't fix it, you can't change it, you can't undo it, you can't go back and relive it. You just say, I accept what happened. I'll learn from it, and I'll try to do better next time. And I'm grateful. Almost all of the things in my life that help me are things that have caused me to have heartache, the things that have caused me damage, that I have done something wrong. I made a mistake. But boy, do we learn from the things we do wrong. They become our best teachers. So on this podcast, I just want to lift you up. I want to encourage you because every day of your life between now and the very end, there's going to be weather. And I want you to start looking at the weather. Look at it like I do and think, you know what? God, you created weather to prove to me, no matter what happened, you couldn't make me happy. Well, God, I want to cooperate with you and let you know, thank you for the weather today. I accept it. and I'm going to enjoy it and have a great day today. I'm Dr. Robert Rohm. I hope this podcast gives you further insight as to how to become wiser. After all, I think that's what life is really all about. Thanks for listening. I look forward to talking to you real soon on another podcast. Have a great day. God bless you. Bye-bye.
For more information about this podcast, please visit www.becomingwiserpodcast.com.